Now that you've completed quiz number 1, let's get into an information literacy discussion. Gullible isn't in the dictionary. How to Fact Check and Stop the Spread of Misinformation by Amie Cuvelier, Meagan Morris, Andrea Parton, and Dolores Vazquez. Fake news, misinformation, and disinformation. What do they mean? Misinformation is false or misleading information, things that are taken out of context. Disinformation is false information created to purposely deceive its audience. Fake news is fabricated information that mimics news media content in form, but not in organizational process or intent. Fake news outlets, in turn, lack the news media's editorial norms and processes for ensuring the accuracy and credibility of information. Fake news overlaps with other information disorders, such as misinformation and disinformation. There are types of ways fake news and disinformation are shared through memes, satire sites, social media such as Facebook, Twitter, and bots, texting, and of course, word of mouth. Example 1. This picture was shared around the internet in mid-2020. The main takeaway from this picture is that Trump was planning to tax people at 23.8%, and Biden's plan would tax people at 43.4%. Many people saw this and used it as a justification of why they would vote against Biden. But let's delve deeper. If we find the actual article, we can get a better understanding of what is being said. First, note that this is an opinion piece, which is information not included in the Facebook post or printed clipping. So everything in here should be taken with a grain of salt. Second, if we read the article, we find out that these are the highest possible tax brackets listed, and the 43.3% has been skewed to be misleading. This 43.3% would only apply to the top income bracket, who are earning over $400,000 and own their own business. The reasoning in this article states the base tax of 37% would increase with the payroll tax, an additional 6.2% paid by the employer, and 6.2% paid by the employee. Moss posits that business owners who earn a salary of over $400,000 annually and would need to pay both sides would be unfairly taxed, which is not necessarily incorrect. However, this 43% that many people are sharing as Biden's tax plan is only applicable to a very small number of people. But this meme was used as a fear tactic to sway people to vote against Biden or have others double down on their previous biases about Biden. This misinformation could have impacted the election in favor of Trump. How to spot fake news by evaluating using the CRAP, C-R-A-A-P test. CRAP is an acronym for currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. Currency refers to the timeliness of the information. Relevance, the importance of the information for your needs. Authority, the source of the information. Accuracy, the reliability, truthfulness, and correctness of the content. By evaluating the author, article, publisher, and/or website. Secondly, question your own biases. Lastly, ask the experts. So what does it mean to evaluate using the CRAP test? Number 1, currency. When was the content published or posted? Does current information matter for your topic? Do the links in the content work? Number 2, relevance. When using the source for references, does the source answer your research question? Who is the article written for? Is the source too technical or too general for your topic? How in-depth is the source? Number 3, authority. Does the author have reliable credentials for the topic? What is the author's affiliation, i.e., university, association, company? Has the author published content on this subject before? How in-depth are those articles? Number 4, accuracy. Has the information been reviewed by editors, editorial review, or author's peers, peer review? Is the author's idea original, or is it from other sources? Are the original sources reliable? Does the language or tone seem unbiased and free of emotion? Is it a joke or satire set? Number 5, purpose. Is the source created to inform your research or to persuade you to accept a certain point of view or to sell you something? Check the About Us section to investigate the purpose. Example number 2. Here we have the article, Print versus Digital. Who is the greenest of them all? It is published on a website titled Saxoprint. If we go to the main page, we can see that it is a company that sells printing services. If we go to the About section of the web page, we can see they are a printing company that promotes environmental protection. We should question an article printed on a website that is selling printing services and has an agenda promoting environmental protection. There are several types of biases a reader and an author might have. Confirmation bias is the tendency to search for, interpret, favor, and recall information in a way that affirms our prior beliefs or hypotheses. Similarity bias involves perceiving people who are of our ethnicity, religion, socioeconomic status, or profession more positively than those who are different from us, which often leads to negative bias of people who are not like us. Anchoring bias is the tendency to rely too heavily on or anchor into one piece of information over another when making decisions. Usually, we anchor into the first piece of information acquired on our subject. Availability cascade is a self-reinforcing process in which a collective belief gains more and more plausibility and credibility through its repetition in public discourse. Availability cascade works something like this. Repeat something long enough, and it will become true. Self-serving bias is the tendency to claim more responsibility for successes than failures. It may also manifest itself as a tendency for people to evaluate ambiguous information in a way that is beneficial to their interest. Groupthink is a psychological phenomenon that occurs within a group of people in which the desire for harmony or conformity in the group results in a dysfunctional outcome. Group members try to minimize conflict in order to reach a consensus decision without critically evaluating alternative viewpoints. When you're reading an article, it is important to acknowledge the possible biases the author of the resource might have and the ones you might have as a reader. Did you immediately have a strong reaction to a headline? Did you recognize the author and immediately dismiss the contents or take the article at face value? You might be displaying one of the biases above, and it is important to focus on the credibility of the source first. Ask the experts. Librarians, public or academic, are here to help if you need to research more about a resource. Fact-checking sites are also a valuable tool if you're unable to ask a librarian. Here's a list of some fact-checking sites that are beneficial. In conclusion, if it is too crazy to seem true, it might be. Do your research by evaluating sources with the CRAP test. Question your own biases that might be affecting your initial reaction to the information. If you're not sure, follow up with an expert. Librarians and instructors are here to help, and fact-checking sites tools are available as well. Question anything you cannot validate with a reputable source. Now, try applying these skills in quiz number 2. Here are the references which aided us in creating this information literacy presentation. And here are the credits for all images used within the presentation. Thank you for watching.